Either stance, that's a real problem for Canelo because he will just be switching, and you don't know where the shots are coming from, and it's so easy for him to do so. And I think the thing that really made me appreciate him is there's many times where I've seen people try and trade with him and slug it out.
I don't know if it's reachable for him. If anybody can do it, it's him, and I'm contradicting myself. I just don't see it happening, you know? Could it happen? Yeah, it's boxing.
Terence Crawford is reportedly preparing with Gennady Golovkin before facing Canelo Alvarez, a move that has captured major attention in the boxing community. Reports suggest the two are working closely to refine Crawford's power, accuracy, and overall ring intelligence. With Golovkin's veteran knowledge guiding him, this partnership could give Crawford the additional advantage he needs as he readies himself for one of the hardest battles of his career. Experts evaluate Terence Crawford. They see far more than just another skilled boxer. They see a rare fighter who blends speed, timing, and a natural ability to read opponents. Crawford is famous for switching stances mid-fight and adjusting with ease, something only a few can truly master. His boxing IQ is often called genius level because he can take opponents apart with surgical precision. Analysts believe his adaptability and situational awareness make him exceptional, placing him above most of his peers. Too many. He is not only great, but extraordinary in the way he dictates fights with intelligence and strategy.
But if there is anyone who can do it, it's Terence Bud Crawford, a man who survived getting shot in the head, for God's sakes. Like, he is not normal. He is a wizard of boxing. He's got genius IQ, one of the smartest boxers I've ever seen, and he can do it all. He's had over 40 fights. I can't ever remember seeing him, like, shook or worried. I mean, this is, trained killers trying to take his head off, and he never looks out of pocket. He is like a rapper who just turns up and figures out his lines on the fly and still makes it sound like the best song you've ever heard. Like, that's how amazing he is. Like, I've never seen anyone who can fight out both stances the way Crawford can. I mean, he looks so natural in either stance. That's a real problem for Canelo because he will just be switching, and you don't know where the shots are coming from, and it's so easy for him to do so. And I think the thing that really made me appreciate him is there's many times where I've seen people try and trade with him and slug it out, and when they stand in the pocket and they just go for it. And even in those situations where usually both of you are getting hit, he still manages to hit and not get hit. It's like he's in the Matrix. And this isn't against average fighters. This is against the best in the world at 4 different weight classes, and he's made it look easy pretty much every time he's moved up. I think in the Errol Spence fight, that was a fight that was supposed to be 50-50. The pressure was on. A lot of people thought he was going to lose that fight. He made that look like a boxing lesson, and the reason is when Errol Spence would throw a punch and not get out of the pocket quick enough, he would make them pay every single time. And if people are worried about Canelo's feet being slow, if there's anyone who can punish that, it's Terence Bud Crawford. In terms of weaknesses, these guys, they don't really have weaknesses. They've just got things that they maybe not as amazing at. That's the level we're talking here. Canelo has been accused of being a bit of a slow starter, and that could be a problem in this.
Michael Fox underlined a key factor in the looming showdown between Crawford and Canelo, noting that weight is Crawford's single true disadvantage. Facing a naturally bigger and stronger fighter like Canelo brings serious challenges. The size gap could allow Canelo to apply pressure and make strength exchanges harder for Crawford. Yet Fox insisted that beyond this, Crawford outshines in nearly every technical aspect. His slick footwork creates angles that frustrate opponents. His jab is sharp and disruptive, and his elite timing lets him exploit tiny mistakes. Above all, his fight IQ is considered one of the best in boxing today, allowing him to change strategies seamlessly. Fox concluded that if Crawford can manage the physicality and prevent Canelo from controlling with power shots, his talent could prevail. In that case, Crawford has every chance of outclassing the Mexican superstar.
I would like to see Bud pull it off. The thing about it is, I think the only disadvantage Bud really has is the weight. I think he has all the skills and attributes that are required to beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's kind of flat-footed. You've seen the fights with Bivol and Laura and even School, who didn't do much, but you see that movement irritates Canelo. You know what I'm saying? When dudes that know how to control the range and stuff like that, he didn't look like the world beater. You know what I mean? The motherfucker that sat in front of him, them dudes that sat in front of him, we see what he did with him. You know what I mean? But guys like Bivol, who was bigger, but he bouncing in and out. Laura, motherfucking landing counter lefts, and he's circling out, and that shit was fucking with Canelo. Floyd, you know, it probably killed Canelo that Floyd was always only an inch away.
Yep.
Just a little step back, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, God, that's like I missed by a mile.
That's crazy because he didn't use no movement.
Right.
He stood in the pocket on it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Triple G was. You said G? Triple G?
No, I said Floyd didn't use no movement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. He was always where he needed to be in the ring. He was always where he needed to be in the ring. I'm in there to land, then I'm just right here. In there to land, but now I'm right here. It just, he's a bad motherfucker, Joe. Like that's what Floyd never gotta understand. Floyd was a bad motherfucker. But the movement, having good feet under you, helps against.
For when fresh photos of Terence Crawford's physique appeared online, Showbiz the Adult responded with both curiosity and doubt. The images revealed Crawford, in peak condition, displaying a noticeably defined muscular frame. But questions quickly arose about whether the photos were genuine or digitally enhanced. Some fans speculated that the images might have been exaggerated to unsettle Canelo Alvarez ahead of their fight. Showbiz noted that although Crawford is always trained with great discipline, such sudden physical changes fueled debates. Reaction showed how closely fans and pundits scrutinize every detail in a super fight of this scale.
Shredded wheat and amazing. Is this photo photoshopped? Because this photo that Ilia Tapora posted of Terence Bud Crawford is the latest photo we've seen, and he looks just less impressive in this photo. Well, the question is really, when were the photos taken? All right, so when you look at this photo and you look at this photo and look at this video of Terence Crawford with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh as Terence Crawford is working out, supposedly just yesterday, right? Which one is Terence Crawford's latest appearance? Because even though this is the latest photo you've seen, doesn't mean this is when the photo was taken. The only reason why people are confused is because this latest photo seems to have been taken in Vegas. And we're approaching fight week and Terence Crawford is already in Vegas. Hence the video with him with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh in Vegas. Now, let me explain all of this. Well, first you gotta look at the hairstyles, right? Terence Crawford in this photo from Ilia Tapora, his hairstyle is totally different than this hairstyle here with Terence Crawford shredded wheat. It is also different than his hairstyle that he has here in the gym with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. You can tell because you can tell how the hair braid, like how it's parted in this photo, and in this photo, they're more parted down the middle, where this video is slanted. It's in like a diagonal slant, which I'm thinking is his latest.
Adam Smith broke down why he favors Crawford over Canelo, centering his reasoning on timing as the deciding factor. Smith argued that boxing success depends not only on skill, but on meeting opponents at the right stage of their careers. He explained that Canelo has endured years of grueling matches, which inevitably took a toll on his speed, reflexes, and explosiveness. Although still elite, Canelo is no longer as sharp as before. Meanwhile, Crawford is entering the prime of his career, hungry and still full of energy. Smith stressed that this alignment of peak condition and motivation gives Crawford the edge. He concluded that the timing of this bout works against Canelo as Crawford meets him at a slightly faded point, making it the perfect moment for him to secure greatness.
Be in Vegas to see, I think, Terence Crawford beats Canelo, and I think that it's going to be his coming out party. I'd love to be there, and Canelo, of course, an all-time great. Yeah, but listen, I love Ireland, and I'm pleased to be in Belfast with the zone for Crocker and Donovan. There's something about an all-Irish fight which is fantastic, and it was great and controversial first time around. It's even bigger now. So yeah, let's chat over there and get on with it.
Just a quick one on Canelo Crawford. I heard you pick Crawford. You just said it there. How much of that is down to timing, and how much of that is down to styles?
A bit of both. I think Canelo is approaching 70 fights. He's been beaten before. Crawford remains undefeated. I think that the jump up is big, but I think he's got the speed, the IQ, the experience, the know-how to be able to handle it. If he's switched on for every minute of every round, I think he wins, and I think he announces himself to the world on Netflix. And I think he deserves it. I think Terence Crawford's only been really known to the trade fans. Canelo, obviously, a bigger name, bigger star. And look, I fancy Crawford in this fight. Look, nothing against Canelo. Maybe it's a little bit of time in the skull fight. I don't know, but there's plenty that fancy Canelo be too big, too strong, too good.
Some TalkSport Boxing. Discussions around Canelo versus Crawford became heated. Some commentators even argued that if Crawford suffers a decisive loss, it could mark the end of his presence at boxing's highest level. The panel debated both sides. Some claimed Canelo's size and pressure would smother Crawford, while others insisted Crawford's skills and IQ could expose weaknesses. The split mirrored the wider divide across the boxing scene. Outmost was the dramatic forecast that a single defeat might close the door on Crawford's career at the top, highlighting how much is at stake in this blockbuster fight.
So yeah, there's a big argument that Canelo Alvarez starts the favourite going into this one because he's the super middleweight world champion. Bud Crawford jumping up two weight divisions, and he's jumped up a weight division before that as well, beating Errol Spence. You just look at it and go, it's a massive ask here for Terence Crawford. Something inside me tells me he wins, and we'll get into that later on.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but in the meantime, Canelo, as ever, has left no stone unturned. He's been training at altitude in Sierra Nevada, looking to get the maximum body stamina and preparation advantage. It's something that he's used to. And of course, he's going to effectively be the home fighter because Tex-Mexers will be up in their numbers from Texas. Also, Hispanic fans from all around the United States. The fight is being made on Mexican Independence Day. I don't think you have to be a great crystal ball gazer to know where the bulk of the crowd is going to be rooting when they step out inside those ropes and their names are bellowed out by the ringside announcer afterwards.
Listen, even though the fight happens in America and Terence Crawford is American, it is going to be so pro-Mexican there, because Canelo is accepted. He's like an adopted son there, and Mexican Independence Day, all of that goes so much in favour of Canelo Alvarez. You go, actually, the guy that's a four-division world champion and a superstar of the sport and American will start probably the fan favourite will definitely be Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, definitely. And he's been training with somebody, sparring with a man who he thinks replicates Crawford's style in sparring many rounds.
And George Ferocious Cambosos Jr. shared his breakdown by focusing on Canelo's pressure-based fighting style. In his view, Canelo is most dangerous when he cuts the ring, closes distance, and throws powerful combinations. Cambosos stressed that Canelo's biggest strength lies in his ability to deliver heavy, accurate shots while constantly moving forward. He predicted that Canelo would apply the same strategy against Crawford, forcing him to backpedal and counter for most of the fight.
Canelo is the pressure fighter. He's got to put the pressure on Crawford. He has to be able to land his big shots. He's seasoned at fighting at super middleweight. He's fought as high as light heavyweight, as we know. So he is accustomed to the bigger punches, the bigger shots. I don't think Crawford can really land anything that's going to trouble a guy like Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is such a good pressure fighter, and for him to be successful in this fight, he needs to be able to really cut the ring off very, very well with a guy like Terence Crawford. Now, we saw in Canelo's last fight against Skull that he was not able to really cut him off well. So that has caused a lot of doubters, and people starting to think, Crawford will have that edge in the footwork and the movement department. But, when you're fighting a big fight, you're going to get up for a big fight, and he's really going to be at his best against a guy like Terence Crawford. So I believe he will cut the ring off, very, very well. And for him to be successful, he has to land shots on Crawford, put him in two frames of minds, make Crawford double think every time Canelo goes into and wants to land shots and land shots. Now, a guy like Crawford is so slick, so dynamic, able to punch you from different angles and different stances. We see he switches from orthodox to southpaw. He might fight the whole fight in southpaw. So he's so dynamic. Now, he's the kind of guy that he's going to put Canelo in